Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz. This is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. And if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in the MLB, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Wednesday, Major League Baseball. First up, we see the Colorado Rockies taking on the Minnesota Twins. This one, an early afternoon game. It's going to be Austin Gomber and Pablo Lopez as the starters. I like the Twins on the run line here. You know, Pablo Lopez has struggled this season, no doubt about it. 5.45 ERA, but he has been a bit better at target field, and his expected numbers are a lot better. I do think he's going to get back to being that ace-level starter in this Twins rotation. In the last game, it was the walks that were the big problem for him. 6 walks given up against the Yankees. You just can't afford to do that, especially at Yankee Stadium. But, you know, I think that still, facing a weak Rockies lineup here and a team away from Coors Field, this is a really good matchup for Lopez to bounce back. You know, he's faced a really tough strength of schedule recently, and I think he goes 6-7 solid innings in this game, hands it over to a good Twins bullpen. Then you look at the Rockies on this side. Austin Gomber has pitched really well this year, but there are some regression concerns in his game. We're starting to see that. 4 earned runs given up in 5 innings in that last start against the Cardinals. I don't love him in this matchup. Give me the Twins laying the 1.5 runs. Next up, we see the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Chris Bassitt and Tobias Myers are your starters. I'm looking at the Blue Jays in the first 5 innings of this game. I do think the Brewers have the better bullpen, but Chris Bassitt's in great form right now. He's given up 3 earned runs or fewer each of his last 5 starts. And, while Myers pitched really well in that last game against the Tigers, that game was on the road. He went 8 innings of shutout baseball, but so far in a small sample size, but still, in 13 innings at home, he's got an ERA just below 7 at 6.75. He's just been much better on the road this year. So I'm going to take the Blue Jays in the first 5 innings. I think they have the lead. We'll have to see if they're able to hold on to that lead if it's a close game late, but give me Toronto in the first 5 on the money line. Next up, we see the Houston Astros taking on the San Francisco Giants. Framber Valdez and Logan Webb are your starters. Both of these starting pitchers are known for being pretty efficient pitch-to-contact guys. We saw, Framber Valdez go 9 innings in his last game. Logan Webb, we've seen plenty of starts where he's gone 7+. In this matchup, though, we know Webb is a lot better at Oracle Park than he is on the road. So far this year, a 2.92 ERA overall, but a 1.71 ERA at home. I think he pitches well. It's not an easy matchup. The Astros are a solid lineup, but I still think that Webb at home is tough to go against, and Framber Valdez has been a bit inconsistent this year, similar to Logan Webb. I mean, both of these guys have had some pretty tough outings here and there, but Framber is facing a San Francisco Giants team that in the last month, top 5 in OPS and ISO against lefties, high walk rate, pretty low strikeout rate. It's a tough matchup, much tougher matchup for Framber than the last 3 games against the Angels, Twins, and Mariners. So I think that the Giants can get to him for a few runs. I like the Giants in this game on the money line. Next up, the Oakland Athletics taking on the San Diego Padres. Hogan Harris and Michael King are your starters. I like the under in this game. I just don't really trust this Athletics lineup right now. They are really struggling offensively. Michael King's been very inconsistent, but he's been really sharp recently. His last 3 starts, 1 earned run or fewer in all 3 of those games, including 5 innings of shutout ball in the last one against the Diamondbacks. Hogan Harris, it's been a small sample, 20 in the 3rd innings, but 2.21 ERA. He's pitched well himself, doing a pretty good job of keeping the ball on the ground. Only 2 home runs given up this season. I'd like to see some more strikeouts going forward, but his last game against the Blue Jays, 6 innings of shutout ball, 3 strikeouts. Like I said, I want to see him miss some more bats, but he's a lefty. The Padres have not been great against lefties really overall this year, but in the last 30 days as well. Give me the under in A's Padres. Next up, we see the Atlanta Braves taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Spencer Schwellenbach and Cade Povich, a pair of young starters on the mound in this one. Now, both of these guys have struggled so far in their young MLB careers. Povich in his Major League debut took the loss against the Blue Jays. 5 1/3 innings, 6 earned runs, a home run to go with it, 4 walks as well. Schwellenbach also in his last game, 6 earned runs, a home run, 7 base hits, and 4 2/3 against the Red Sox in a 9-0 loss. So these guys, their teams combined are 0-3 to start their Major League careers. It's tough to really trust either of these starters, but I will say I trust the Orioles lineup a lot more right now. They are, just a much better lineup when you look at, especially with Acuna now down for the season. I got to trust the O's more in this game. Now, their bullpen, it's been hit or miss, especially recently when you look at the expected numbers, but it's still holding on to leads, and I like the Orioles in this game on the money line. Next up, we see the Washington Nationals taking on the Detroit Tigers. Jake Urban and Reese Olson are your starters. We've talked about how Reese Olson's pitched really well this year, but he's been one of the least profitable pitchers in baseball because his team doesn't always back him up. He's 1-7 personally this season. And then beyond that, the Tigers have just lost a large majority of his games. But now, recently, we're starting to see him struggle. So far in his first 2 games in June, 9 innings combined, 13 earned runs, and a 12.54 ERA. Of course, both losses for the Tigers. It's tough to have a lot of faith in his game with his current form. Jake Irvin on the other side pitching really well. The Nationals being one of the more profitable teams in baseball. And Irvin's been even better on the road this season with a 2.68 ERA. I trust the Nationals bullpen behind him. Give me the Nats on the money line in this one. Next up, we see the Chicago Cubs taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Javier Assad and Aaron Savale are your starters. Aaron Savale, we know he has a home run problem. He's given up usually around a home run per game this season. And his last 5 starts, 5 home runs combined. He's facing a Cubs lineup that in the last 30 days has got top 10 in isolated power against righties, high walk rate to go with it. I think they hit a home run or 2 against them in this spot. And, Javier Assad, while he's not in great form and there are some regression concerns to his game, it doesn't get, he's faced a pretty tough schedule recently, having to face the same lineup twice in the same month, basically. They faced the Braves twice on May 15th and May 21st, and then the Reds twice on the 31st and the 6th of June. So he's had a tough schedule, but you're facing a Rays lineup that in the last 30 days, dead last in isolated power, dead last in team OPS against righties. Doesn't get much better than this in terms of a matchup for Javier Assad. So I got to go with the Cubs in the first 5 innings on the money line. Next up, we see the Miami Marlins taking on the New York Mets. We're going to see David Peterson and Braxton Garrett as your starters. I like the Mets to win this game, but I also like the under here. David Peterson, I've been impressed with him so far. It's a small sample size, but he pitched really well in the minor league rehab starts as well. He was great in that last game against the Nationals, 6 2/3 innings, only 2 runs given up. You face a weak Marlins lineup in this one. I think he pitches pretty well. Garrett on the other side, we saw him struggle against these Mets not too long ago, but that was at Lone Depot Park, where he and some other starters that are lefties in that Marlins rotation have struggled at home this year. But on the road, Garrett's been excellent this season, so I think he bounces back. I think we see a low-scoring game. Give me the under. Next up, we see the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Boston Red Sox. Christopher Sanchez and Nick Pivetta are your starters. Not my favorite game on the board, but I'm also going to lean towards the under in this one as well, as you got Christopher Sanchez, a lefty, facing a Red Sox team that hasn't been great against lefties pretty much all season, especially when you look at their strikeout rate. Very, very steep strikeout rate. Nick Pivetta is in good form on the other side for the Red Sox, including that last game, 7 innings, a shutout ball against the Braves, 9 strikeouts at Fenway Park. And you got 2 good bullpens. When you look at both of these bullpens, they're both top 10 in terms of the xFIP this season, actually top 5 in all of baseball. So impressive bullpens, good starting pitching, pretty good matchup for both of these guys. I like the under in Phillies Red Sox. Next up, the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Bailey Falter and Sonny Gray are your starters. And the Cardinals have not been great against lefties this year, and that includes the last 30 days, but I still have, big-time regression concerns for Bailey Falter's game. And with Sonny Gray on the other side, I think the Cardinals do enough here to win and cover this run line. And even if it's a close game towards the middle innings, I've mentioned I think the Cardinals have the much better bullpen in this game and in this series. When you look at the expected numbers, St. Louis number 3 in xFIP, the Pittsburgh Pirates ranked 24th. So I think the Cardinals' biggest advantage, even though they have a pretty sizable advantage with the starting pitching matchup, lies in the bullpen as well. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals here and lay the 1.5 runs on the run line. Next up, we see the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Tanner Bybee and Nick Lodolo are your starters. Now, Nick Lodolo has been better at Great American Ballpark than we expected this year, but I still don't love this matchup for him against the Guardians. This is a very tough team to face as a lefty this year. They've made big improvements against left-handed pitching in 2024 because Cleveland's not really been known to be a great lefty hitting team the last couple of seasons. And while the lineup hasn't changed too much from the last couple of years, there's still some key pieces. Guys like David Fry have really helped this lineup against the lefty, and I think Lodolo struggles in this one. Bybee, while he's been inconsistent, he still remains one of the better options in this Guardians rotation. And then it comes down to the big advantage in the bullpen that the Guardians have. They arguably the best bullpen in baseball, so I got to go with the Guardians in this game on the money line. Next up, the New York Yankees taking on the Kansas City Royals. Cody Poteet for New York, no official starter for Kansas City. Now, I'll have to wait and see who the official starter is, but right now I'm leaning towards the over. Cody Poteet's been solid in his first 15 2/3 with the Yankees. However, he's got a 1.72 ERA, but a 5.48 expected ERA. There are some regression concerns, not really missing a lot of bats right now. The home run ball's also been a concern throughout his career. At Kauffman Stadium against this Royals lineup, it's not going to be an easy matchup for him, so I do expect him to struggle. Don't really love either of these bullpens, so give me the over in Yankees-Royals. Next up, we see the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jose Soriano and Slade Cecconi are your starters. I'm going to take the Angels in the first 5 innings in this one. I don't love their bullpen, but I do think they have a nice advantage here in the starting pitching matchup, especially with Soriano on the road, where he's got a 2.35 road ERA and about 38 innings of work. He does a good job of keeping the ball on the ground, a great ground ball percentage. That bodes well for this matchup because the Arizona Diamondbacks one of the highest ground ball rates in all of baseball. So I think Soriano pitches well, goes 5-6 solid innings. Cecconi, he struggled so far this year, ERA at 5.66, but even steeper at home. 10 innings, 12 earned runs, and 3 home runs at home, so a 10.8 ERA. I think the Angels get to him early. Give me the Angels in the first 5 innings. Next up, we see the Chicago White Sox taking on the Seattle Mariners. Jonathan Cannon and Bryce Miller are your starters. Now, Cannon's first outing back at the Major League level wasn't a start, but it was on June 7th against the Red Sox. It was really solid for him. 3 innings, 4 strikeouts, only 3 base hits, no walks, and no earned runs, and that was a 7-2 White Sox win. He was a key contributor for that game. I think he pitches well in this one. I mean, it's at a pitcher-friendly ballpark against a Mariners lineup that I still don't trust all the way while it's improving. I still think it's one of the weaker lineups in the American League. And Bryce Miller has been excellent at home this season. He's been struggling on the road, but at T-Mobile Park at 2.13 ERA, I like the under in the first 5 innings. I don't love this White Sox bullpen, so I think we could see some runs really from both teams in the later innings, but give me the under in the first 5. Next up, the final game for the Wednesday card in Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers and the Los Angeles Dodgers. John Gray and Walker Buehler are your starters. I think there's value with the Rangers in this one. I would say it's a little bit concerning with how John Gray has pitched this year. He's just kind of been inconsistent in terms of the innings he's had. We obviously know the injuries have played a role, but he, so far, like in the month of June and really the last 3 weeks or so, he's had 2 1/3 innings combined. And it was that last appearance against the Giants on June 8th. 2 1/3 innings of 4 strikeouts, shutout ball, pitched really well in that one, but before that, he pitched on May 21st. So he's just been very, very inconsistent when it comes to his outings. And that always is a little bit concerning for me. Just wonder if a pitcher's at 100% and if the Rangers are just being very, very careful with them. Similar to a guy like Eovaldi, both of those guys have, they pitched well, but they have been very careful with those starters. And I think they have to be because, you got Jacob deGrom already injured. He's set to be coming back soon, but you just don't want to take any chances too early in the season. Now, on the other side, Walker Buehler, similar to, a pitcher that's dealing with injuries, he just hasn't looked the same so far this year. I mean, a 4.82 ERA. His strikeout numbers have been inconsistent, and he just doesn't, like I said, doesn't look the same right now. I think there is value with the Rangers in this spot. I'm going to take the Rangers on the money line. I think they'll be able to get to Buehler. I think Gray, while he won't pitch deep into this game, can still give the Rangers 4 to 5, maybe 6 solid innings. And, while the bullpen for the Rangers isn't great, the Dodgers bullpen in terms of the expected numbers, it really isn't that much better. So give me the Rangers in this one on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Wednesday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put those baseball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.